Hey everyone, today we're going to make a hat that's loosely based on the Korean gat hat. Let's get making. Alright, first measure your head so you can figure out your pattern size. I'll talk more about sizing at the end, but it depends on what kind of look you want. Now you can print out your pattern on your local home printer. Just make sure you're printing actual size or the printer will try and shrink down your pattern. Take your pattern to the kitchen, clean any retainers off your table, grab some scissors from your scissor drawer, wipe off some crumbs, and dry off the table. Now you can see when the pattern pages overlap, there's a little white gap from your printer. If you don't like little white gaps, now's the time to cut them off with your scissors. And you only need to do it on the side that overlaps. Okay, now grab some tape, grab a window, line up the alignment marks on the pages, and tape them together. This is quite a large pattern, so at some point you might find that you need a bigger window. Also, in interest of saving paper, I've designed the pattern so it goes together like this. Take your unwieldy pattern to a table and start cutting it out. Cut along the line marked for your pattern size, cutting right along the outside edge of the black line. Pretty soon you should have what looks like a little man. Grab some 5mm thick EVA foam. If the foams come from a roll, you want to make sure that it's curving downward into the table, not flapping up. This will help the sides of the brim not look droopy. Lay out your pattern pieces on the foam. The main thing to watch here is that the opening on the brim is parallel to the curled edge of the foam. Now you can carefully trace around the pattern pieces with a white paint pen. The nice thing about using black foam is we won't need to paint the hat if we do this right. So basically, we're going to keep all the markings to the inside or the underside of the hat. Mark the front center line on all the pieces as well as the front and back on the top. Once you remove the patterns, make sure to extend the lines onto the pieces. Grab a super sharp knife. This is super important because if you don't have a sharp knife, your foam is just gonna get wrecked when you try and cut it. Make sure you hold your knife perpendicular as you cut, cutting directly on top of your white lines. And remember, don't cut your fingers off. Alright, now it's time for some gluing. I'm using hot glue for this, but you could also use contact cement. I'll talk more about that later. Use an adjustable temperature glue gun and turn it down as far as you can with it still being able to glue. Grab the cone-ish cylinder, make sure your lines are on the inside, and then glue the two ends together. When using hot glue, glue an inch or two at a time, press the edges together, and while still holding the edges together, patiently wait for it to cool. When the glue is mostly cool but you're still holding the edges, you can try rubbing away some of the excess glue with your thumb. You can also just leave it and clean it up later. Anyways, continue down the seam, gluing a section at a time until you're all done. Once you're done, you can clean up the seam with a scrap of foam. Rub it along the seam vigorously, which starts to melt the glue a little bit and cleans it off. It's like an eraser, a glue eraser. Now you can test it on your head just to make sure it's the right size. If it is, then it's time to glue the top in. Slide the top piece into the cone-ish cylinder just to verify that it fits snugly. Take it out and using a black pen, transfer the front and back markings over onto the top of the top. Again, this is so we don't have any white lines we have to paint over, but so we can still just barely see those center marks. Apply a short line of glue right at the center mark, line it up with the back seam on the cylinder, and then hold it in place until the glue cools. Repeat the exact same thing with the front alignment marks, and that'll get the top piece perfectly positioned in the cylinder, making the rest of the gluing pretty easy. I just stick my fingers in from the inside to lift up the edge, carefully apply glue without applying it to my fingers, and then push the edge back down and hold it till it cools. Okay, now it's time to make the brim. I recommend using contact cement for this part because we will be heating it later. Apply a thin layer of contact cement to both ends of the brim, wait till the glue is no longer tacky, and then firmly press the ends together, making sure everything is lined up. You only get one chance with contact cement, so make sure it's perfect. Take the brim and slide it over the other part of the hat, lining up the back seams. You can flip it over and slowly work the brim up to the edge just to make sure everything's gonna fit. Okay, so we've got a hat, but the brim is kinda crazy. So grab your bowling ball and a helmet. Well, really just one or the other. Grab a heat gun or a very hot hairdryer, heat up the brim a section at a time, and then form it over the bowling ball. I don't really show it here, but I actually was heating from both the top and the bottom of the brim to try and have the heat saturate through the foam. And then just kept working around and around the bowling ball. I'm not pushing super hard and I'm not trying to stretch the foam, I'm just sort of shaping it to the shape of the ball. You'll notice the heat has also made the foam shinier, and that's something you want to be aware of to heat it all the same so it has a consistent texture. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. If you don't have a bowling ball, a helmet works good too. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Time to put this hat together. Slide the brim up over the conish cylinder. Use your thumbs from the back to just slowly walk it up into place. Line up the 2 back seams and glue them together. Then line up the 2 front seams and glue them together too. You can see how I've pushed the brim back a little bit to give space for the glue, and then once the glue's on, just slide the brim back up over top. Once the front and back are glued down, you can just kind of pry the brim back to create a little crack, squeeze the glue in the crack, and then return the brim back to its regular position. It is quite important that the brim piece is pushed in nice and tight against the hat as you glue it, as this helps it stay going sort of straight out from the hat instead of flopping right down. You may also need to add a little more glue from the outside of that seam. The good thing is that gets covered up so you don't have to worry about being super clean. Speaking of covering it up, let's mark a 1/2 inch strip, cut it out, and glue it to the hat. Start at the back seam and work your way around the hat. When you get back to where you started, overlap the 2 strips and then cut through both of them. That way the ends can fit nice and flush against each other. And you're golden. Alright, so that's it. This is a pretty quick project. I think 1 to 2 hours and you've got yourself a hat made. It's great because if you have black foam, you don't even need to paint it. That saves tons of time. Probably the most complicated thing is just figuring out what size you want to make, because there's 2 different sizings that you have to think about. There's your head size and then there's also the brim size. And the good thing is those 2 work independently of each other, so you can make whatever head size matched with whatever brim size you want. So when you're choosing the head size of the hat, you want to think about how the hat's going to sit on your head. For example, my head measures 57 centimeters. So if I make the 57 centimeter hat, which is this one, it's going to sit on my head. It's not quite as far down as a baseball cap or something like that would be, but it's still gonna stay on my head when I move around and stuff without needing to be tied down. It would blow off in a big wind. So that's good for staying on, but it's maybe not quite as accurate. So for more accuracy, you might want a smaller head size. This one is a 53, so that's 2 sizes smaller. And that just kind of sits on my head, right? So it's gonna definitely need something to tie it down because it moves around like that. So anyways, but you could do that. You could tie it on and then you'd be good to go with a smaller size that sits a bit higher on your head. So that's 2 sizes smaller, which is 4 centimeters smaller. So the other thing you need to decide is the width of the brim. This one is the smallest brim size. That's size A. And then this one is the next largest brim size, which is the size B. And then this one is the largest, which doesn't fit on my head, so I have to hold it up, and that is the size C. The only thing about the largest size is the foam isn't strong enough, so it doesn't just droop down when it gets out to there, so I've actually had to add a second layer, which adds a bit of complexity and makes it harder to get the brim nice and smooth looking. I don't have a tutorial on that now, but I will put one out next week to show how I did it. Maybe I'll also include just some tips for if you're using contact cement instead of hot glue, because it's a little more complicated to glue some of these parts. Of course, as usual, you can grab the pattern from the link in the description or on the screen here, or go to my website, lostwaxsaws.com. I also will mention my Ultimate Everything Super Value Bundle, which is all my foam patterns that I've ever made and ever will make. So anyone who has bought the bundle already will be getting an email telling them they can grab this pattern for free. Even if they bought the bundle like 10 years ago, they're still getting new patterns. That's a pretty good deal. All right, thanks for watching. See ya. Perfect. Did it.